What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the groundbreaking news that I'm sure you guys are all aware of, but what I want to bring to this discussion is what that means for PvP, both good and bad, because it could really go either way. So if you haven't heard, Niantic has sold Pokemon GO to Scopely. So that speculation post that we saw going around social media like a couple weeks back, it is confirmed that they sold it, and they sold the Pokemon GO, Pikmin Bloom, and Monster Hunter, and the incredible teams working on them. So Niantic basically sold off their whole gaming division and kept their AR division, right? That's basically what they did. They sold it for $3.5 billion. That's obviously going to go to all the other companies that are involved in this because it is their games as well. But Scopely is now the game developer of Pokemon GO, or at least will be in the near future, right? I don't know how long this is going to be taking, but Niantic is now out of the picture. So that is either a great thing or the beginning of the end. It could go either way. I'm going to be completely honest. It could go either way. So let's talk about who Scopely is. Scopely is an American interactive entertainment company and mobile-first video game developer publisher who are known for making games like Stumble Guys, Monopoly Go, and Star Trek Fleet Command, among others. Their headquarters is in California, and they just acquired Niantic's gaming division and Pokemon GO, right? So Monopoly Go. This is where everyone has their red flags because their microtransaction model is very aggressive, right? So this is Monopoly Go. It's a screenshot from Monopoly Go. As you can see, there are promotion stickers up here with timers alerting you that there is an offer for you to spend money to get something, right? It's everywhere here on the left. Like half of the left side screen is covered by those. So it's a very aggressive model. So if this was directly implemented into Pokemon Go, think about things like tickets or boxes would just be appearing on your overworld map, and you'd have to deal with that, right? Now, I've never played Monopoly Go. Maybe someone in the comments can give some more insight into maybe you buy a subscription and all those promotions go away or whatever, but this is there. So that's the worst case scenario, I think, right? Pokemon Go becomes a microtransaction living hell, basically, right? Which I don't think would make the game better. Silver lining here, the other side of it. They still have to get agreement and the green light from the Pokemon Company and everyone else on that side, right? Because Pokemon Go is their IP. So the Pokemon Company may put a red line or a hard line in the sand, right? You're not allowed to do that. They may in fact enforce that so that this never happens, because I think that would be a negative experience for a Pokemon Go player. So maybe that will actually happen. So worst case scenario is they just put promotions and selling anything and everything in our face all the time. It's there. Someone even made the joke, if you see a shiny, it'll charge you to want to catch it, which I thought was pretty funny, but also way too potentially real. It's like pay $1, pay 100 Pokecoin or 200 Pokecoin to catch the shiny. That would be horrible. I wouldn't play. But anyways, that's the worst case. So let's move on to the best case. Part of the best case, like I just said, was Pokemon Company not allowing that to happen. The second is a company actually owns Scopely, which I think is more interesting and has more potential for PvP. And that's called the Savvy Games Group. And the Savvy Games Group is in a Saudi multinational video game investment, development, and publishing and esports company. This is very important. Esports company, which means they have the knowledge to understand how to create games to be good esports or they're in that sphere, right? Whereas Niantic was an AR company. We willed ourselves to be completely honest. We willed ourselves as a community, as people that I know in the community who are leading the charge for Play Pokemon and have been for years. We willed that into existence, and got it to happen. There's so much effort behind the scenes that you guys will never know, but I am so thankful for everyone that helped push with that. But now we may have some more wind in our sails with the parent company who owns Scopely. This is my reasoning, right? If you guys don't know, Pokemon Go is a part of the Play Pokemon tournament series, where tournaments basically every weekend, every other weekend around the world are happening, and thousands of people are going to these things, right? So down in EUIC a couple weeks back, down in London, we hosted the European International Championships. There was over 5,000 competitors there to compete in Pokemon Go, Pokemon VCG, Pokemon Unite, and the Pokemon trading card game, or the just trading card, right? Over 5,000 trainers there. This is the thing. Everyone has in common at these events, right, is the love of Pokemon, right? What else everyone has in common with is they've all played Pokemon Go. I would take an absolute bet that Pokemon Go is actually the most popular played game from everyone here. I'm not saying PvP. I'm not saying Go Battle League. I'm saying Pokemon Go, right? Everyone at these Play Pokemon events has played Pokemon Go. I don't think everyone at these events has played the trading card game or the VGC because of the barriers to entry there, right? We could just download Pokemon Go on our phone and it took over the world. So if all 5,000 trainers at this event who are there for PvP in their own category of where they love to compete have all played Pokemon Go, what would happen if we just break open the barriers for people to get into PvP right away? I'm talking, well, firstly, game code fixed, right? We want all those problems fixed. Okay, set that aside. Let's say game code's fixed. We'd want rental teams, right? If we see that the winner of, these tournaments has a team, that team then becomes available to use by players at home. And not only that, but we have, instead of blind threes format, which is just horrible, it's not good competitively. If we have Team 6 Pick 3 format, all of a sudden, someone there who is playing the VGC notices that Pokemon Go just erupted when someone make a great play, which it does at these events. They're absolutely spectacular. But imagine they go, and they go to Pokemon Go, they go to PvP section, and then they can borrow the team that was just used at EUIC, and they can battle with it themselves, right? The door's open. We then take a look at things like TMs, right? That whole system, which is just horrible. It's not even how the main game works, right? A lot of the stuff from Pokemon Go is derived from the main game. And in the main game, like, you can first of all teach your Pokemon your moves, the moves it has, whenever you want for free. And secondly, you can then use a TM and give it a specific move. Our thing is just a horrible system. I dislike it so much. I would still be fine. I would be fine if a TM guaranteed me to give it a move that it knows besides like legacy moves, because that's where elite TMs come in, right? But then just lower the amount of access. Like, I don't want to have like 200, 300 TMs in my inventory just to make sure I can like TM moves away. I'd rather have a stack of 20, right, that I still have to get from raids or whatever, right? There's still avenues to get it, but I know when I use it, I get what I want. Like, that's huge. I mentioned the fixed PvP, Team 6, rentals. Like, you then promote it more, you host in-game events around PvP, get people into it, and if it's smooth and it works and people can access it for free and get the meta Pokemon right away, right, then we have something really cool. We have something that everyone would want to access. And what we're seeing is the VGC is doing this as well. Like, VGC has a barrier to entry. The VGC requires you to have a Nintendo Switch, which is already a money barrier to entry, right? Then you got to have the game, right, which is added on top of that. Then you got to get the Pokemon. I do know that they have the rental teams, which is really cool. That's where we want to get that idea from, right? But you still got to pay like $200, $300 or whatever just to be able to get into the ecosystem. Whereas most trainers there already have their phones that they use for other things. You can get into Pokemon Go for free. And what they've done is the VGC is changing how they compete. We've seen this announcement. Pokemon Champions is coming like soon, whether it's like later this year or next year. And it's going to be the home for their competitive play. And it's going to be on mobile. So they understand that in order to get more people into battling, which has been growing year after year for both Pokemon Go, for all the games, right? These events have been growing year after year. They understand that they got to get people in from mobile. They got to get them in for free, and they got to get them into that ecosystem. Now, I'm sure that game is going to have microtransactions as well. They always do because it's a mobile game. So maybe, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not even going to try to guess. But the fact is that they're leaning into that. And I think Pokemon Go, if Scopely here and Savvy Games understand that their potential market is tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people who compete and play Pokemon, they can get some of that market share by just making small, it's not even big adjustments. I mean, it is kind of big adjustments, but it's a few things added to Pokemon Go to make the feature so much better, right? And I've said this to Niantic for years, and they're just like, yep, and never did a thing. So I hope that this happens. I hope that we see that the purchase here is good, because this is what's going to happen, guys, to be completely honest. We are either going to see a paradigm shift to Pokemon Go becoming such a good game because the people making it understand how to make a game, or we see an implosion of ads and the game dies. It's going to go one of two ways, but I would, if I had to take a bet, I would say it doesn't go the implosion way of ads, because the Pokemon Company doesn't want that to happen, right? They don't want their game to die. They want it to explode back in popularity. And I think Scopely has the opportunity to do that, and go a step further and do that for PvP because of the Savvy groups and their background in publishing esports. So yeah, that is my take. That is my hope. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe a year from now the game's dead and we're all doing different stuff. But my gosh, if they can nail it, if they can listen to the players about what PvP needs to be great, because we know how fun it can be, guys, the sky's the limit. Like, we're gonna see the promised land of what PvP should have always been years ago. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let me know if you agree or disagree with me. So like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.